You notice, even when you try to pretend you don't. Everyone already knew, and you once again were left out. No one notified you, no one even thought of you. You find out later, always later, when it no longer matters. It's not the news that hurts, it's what it reveals. The place they put you at the very end where no one sees, where no one misses you. You weren't a priority, you never were. They just forgot to tell you sooner. You thought you were seen, that you were remembered, that you were part of it. But now you realize you were only remembered when there was extra space, when there was no one else to call, when it was convenient. It's hard to accept that, even harder to realize it took you so long to see. Disregard doesn't scream. It comes like this, with small exclusions, with invitations that never arrive, with conversations that end before you can join. It's not your exaggeration. It's not drama. It's real, and it's cruel. You feel it. You notice. And even while trying to ignore it, your heart knows, your body feels, your soul understands. Something inside you already knew, already whispered softly, already warned without words. But you ignored it, because you wanted to believe, because you needed to believe, that you were important, that you were remembered, that you were seen. You were not. What hurt wasn't the news, it wasn't the event, it wasn't the occasion where they forgot to inform you. What tore you apart was the place they put you without saying. It was the emptiness. It was the bitter realization that you were at the back of the line, and no one bothered to pull you close. It wasn't forgetfulness. It wasn't distraction. It was a choice. Someone chose to leave you out, and no one tried to stop it. This realization doesn't come with a clear warning. It comes in the spaces between, in the silences, in the glances that don't find you, in the words that pass right through you without stopping. You were there, but at the same time, you were no longer there. It was like an echo of who you once were, important to them, essential to them. Today you are left over, the remnant of a conversation that's ended, the memory of a love that has cooled, the weight of a commitment that no one wants to carry anymore. And realizing this tears away pieces you didn't even know you had. You ask yourself, when did this start? Did I take too long to see it? The answer comes bitter. You realize it started long before the first visible exclusion, long before the first unmade invitation, long before the first hidden secret. It began on the day you were seen as an obligation and not as a choice, and you didn't notice, or you didn't want to notice, because the truth hurts more than any comfortable lie. How many times did you smile trying to fit in? How many times did you force your presence where there was already absence? How many times did you pretend not to notice, just to avoid admitting the loneliness? You didn't want to be alone. You didn't want to lose. You didn't want to face reality. But it was there, all along, running through you. And now, you can't ignore it anymore. Now the awareness is clear. It cuts like a blade. It burns like an invisible fire. You are the last to know, always the last, always afterward, always in the leftovers. And no matter how much you try, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you love, those who want to leave you behind have already done so. They just forgot to tell you. This realization changes everything. What was once hope turns into disillusionment. What was once a desire to belong becomes clarity. What was once love becomes survival. You start to see the signs you once ignored, the absence of questions, the lack of invitations, the distance disguised as busyness. They haven't forgotten you, they chose not to remember you. And this hurts more than any rejection spoken aloud, because it's silent, it's cold, it's calculated, it's hard. I know it's hard. I won't tell you it will pass quickly. I won't pretend it's simple. I won't romanticize what is cruel. What they did to you was cowardly. It was unfair, it was inhumane, and you didn't deserve it. But it happened. And now, the only choice is what you're going to do with that realization. You can pretend it didn't happen. You can beg to be included again. You can humiliate yourself searching for crumbs of consideration. Or you can accept that those who needed you would have made an effort. Accept that where you had to beg, you were no longer wanted. Accept that true love doesn't make you feel small. It doesn't make you feel forgotten. It doesn't make you feel disposable. Recognizing your own worth is painful, Because before you can see how much you're worth, you need to realize how much you've been devalued. And that tears apart, that bleeds, that paralyzes, but it also liberates. When you stop minimizing yourself to fit into the small spaces they offer you, you begin to create your own spaces. Spaces where you don't have to beg to be seen. Spaces where you are a priority, not an option. You weren't born to be anyone's last choice. You weren't born to be remembered only when there's time left. You weren't born to be loved halfway. The love that is meant for you comes fully. It comes without delay. It comes without excuses. But before you can live that love, you need to let go of everything that keeps you in places where you've already been forgotten. Are you ready for that? Or will you try one more time to be accepted where you were never wanted? This question is not for me to answer. It's for you to carry with you, to look in the mirror later and face the answer without fear. Recognizing hurts, but ignoring hurts even more. And it makes the pain last forever. Do you want that for your life? Or have you already realized you deserve more? Look within, without fear, without trying to cover the holes, without making excuses for what has already collapsed. Feel the entire pain. Don't pretend. Don't diminish. You need to go through that pain, not around it. You need to let her show you what you refuse to see while you could still believe in illusions. Every time you close your eyes to avoid facing reality, you're giving away another piece of yourself to someone who never knew how to value you. Every time you justify the unjustifiable, you diminish yourself in front of someone who never deserved your worth. How long will you continue to betray yourself this way? How long will you need to break yourself to fit into spaces that have always been too small for you? The time has come to stop apologizing for existing. The time has come to stop begging to be included in lives that have already discarded you without mercy. Do you realize that deep down, what hurt the most wasn't being forgotten? It was having to accept that you insisted on staying where others had already given up on you. This realization is cruel. It doesn't come to caress. It comes to amputate, to tear out from within everything that still bound you to people who didn't deserve you, to rip apart the ties that were already rotten, yet you insisted on calling love, friendship, or belonging. Do you see this now? Do you recognize what you ignored so many times? Do you see how much you lost trying to be enough for someone who would never know how to recognize you? I know it hurts. I know it feels like it won't ever pass. I know it seems like you'll be stuck in this place of abandonment forever, but I promise you, this pain is a passage. It's not a place to live. It only exists to cleanse you, to remove all the emotional debris that kept you from seeing your own greatness. Only those who say goodbye to what hurts can welcome what heals. Are you willing to let die what has already died? Or will you still cling to the ruins of a story that is no longer yours? Do not be afraid to lose what no longer belongs to you. Be afraid of staying where there is no longer room for you to bloom. Don't fool yourself. It won't be easy, it won't be quick, but it will be real, and only what is real is worth your commitment. The exclusion you experience does not define your worth. The neglect you suffered does not measure the size of your soul. The forgetfulness you faced does not diminish the greatness of what you carry within. You are more. You always have been. You always will be. You just need to realize it, truly, without doubt, without hesitation. Realize, accept, and move forward. And moving forward is not about running. It's not about forgetting quickly. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. Moving forward is about not making a home in the pain. It's about feeling everything and still choosing to move on. It's about looking into the eyes of those who forgot you and not holding on to resentment, just indifference, just silence, just the deep understanding that you are already in another place, a place where you are seen, desired, respected. Do you feel like you need that place? Do you feel like you need to rebuild yourself away from those who made you feel small? Comment here. I'm ready to move on. Recognize, what brought you here was not weakness. It was courage. Courage to feel. Courage to acknowledge. Courage to break free. Do not dishonor that courage. Do not go back to what has already ended. Do not beg for crumbs where you should be feasting. Have you realized who you truly are? Or will you still be content to be a shadow of what you could be? The choice is yours. It always has been. It always will be. You have already realized. And now there's no turning back. It's no use trying to fit back into a space where you have already exploded. It's no use slowing your pace to walk in rhythm with those who have stopped walking with you. Now you know. Now you feel. And even though it hurts, it's a pain that cleanses. It's a pain that helps you grow. You need to accept that some doors close without warning, without noise, without explanation, because you weren't meant to stay there, because your cycle had already ended, even if you didn't want to see it. Do not blame those who left you behind. Do not plead to be taken along. Recognize, those who need you, don't forget. Those who miss you, don't go silent. Those who love you, don't hide you. Did you realize this late? Maybe. But it was at the right time for your soul not to get completely lost. It was at the right time for you to still be able to rebuild. You weren't weak. You were faithful. Faithful to what you felt. Faithful to your truth. But now being true to yourself requires a different kind of strength. The strength to walk away. The strength to not look back, even if your heart feels heavy. Even if nostalgia creeps in. Even if memories try to sabotage you. Because going back to those who forgot you is forgetting yourself. Don't postpone any longer what you already know you need to do. Don't wait for the acceptance of those who have already excluded you. Today you don't need to be accepted. You need to be whole. Notice, the world waiting for you on the other side of pain is immense, full of people who won't leave you behind, full of spaces where you won't have to beg to be remembered, full of loves that won't be forgotten, that won't hide, that won't make you last in line. But to get there first, you need to close this door with firmness, with courage, with dignity. Do you feel that the time has come? Take a deep breath. Feel this moment flooding you. This decision that starts small, like a spark, but can ignite everything that still holds you back. Do you realize this now? Do you see that pain is just the last link connecting you to what needs to be left behind? And understand, letting go hurts. Letting go is scary. Letting go seems impossible. But staying hurts even more. Staying rots the soul. Staying kills slowly. You deserve to live. You deserve to breathe. You deserve to be loved with the same intensity that you give. Don't accept less. Don't accept scraps. Don't accept emotional crumbs. Do you see that now the only prison is the one you keep inside yourself? You already have the key. You've already had that realization. You've already seen what you needed to see. Now it's a choice. Just choose. Will you choose to remain tied to what diminishes you, or will you choose to finally be whole for yourself? This answer doesn't need to be spoken. It needs to be lived, and when you truly choose, you don't even need to inform anyone. Your energy will change. Your gaze will change. Your stride will change. And those who forgot you will notice, but it will be too late. Do you feel that strength emerging inside you? That strength that, even when wounded, refuses to die? Comment here. I choose to live for myself. This is the crossing. It's not pretty. It's not easy. But it's real. And it's the only one capable of taking you where your heart truly belongs. You feel it. Deep down, you know. What's been left behind no longer fits the space you're opening within yourself. The absences you've endured, the silences you've swallowed, the exclusions you ignored, were not just small slips. They were signs that you didn't want to acknowledge. Because acknowledging hurts. Because acknowledging changes everything. But now there's no turning back. Now reality flows through you completely. You are not a last resort. You are not a convenient option. You are a priority. You are a conscious choice. And those who couldn't see you do not deserve the privilege of your presence anymore. You need to free yourself from this place of crumbs. You need to return to others the weight that was never yours to carry. You need to rescue yourself from the absences that tried to convince you that you were less. Recognize, you were not invisible. They chose to pretend they couldn't see. Now it's your turn to choose. Choose not to beg anymore. Choose not to accept anymore. Choose to be whole without asking for permission. Is it hard? Yes. Will it hurt? Yes. But the pain of freeing yourself is the only pain worth going through. So, if today this message resonated within your heart, share it with those who also need to awaken, with those who are still trying to fit where there's no longer any space, with those who need to remember that love is not something to beg for. Subscribe here to the channel. This is just the beginning of a series of conversations that will tear apart lies and sow truth within you. Here, you will not find masks. Here, we speak directly to the soul. No rush, no shortcuts. Go ahead and give a like if these words moved something within you. This simple gesture helps this truth reach others who are drowning in silences they don't deserve. And comment below, I choose to prioritize myself. Write it with courage. Confirm to yourself what, deep down, you already know you need to live. Don't keep this awakening to yourself. Expand it, shout it out. Today you choose not to be the last to know. Today you choose yourself, without fear, without shame. This is just the first step. The next one is waiting for you. Stronger, truer, more you. I'll see you in the next message. Don't take too long.